So we are Peak Agency. I'm Jessie, and I'm the account manager.
I'm Dorothy, I'm the PR manager.
I'm Jamie, I'm the creative director.
I'm Brooke, I'm the social and interactive manager.
I'm Brianna, I'm the media planner.
So these are just a photo of us all being in the environment.
Can you guys wait 1 second? Sorry. Can you get the video back up?
Should we start over?
No, you don't have to. Thank you, though, but it would just kind of.
This one is the way to do.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Yes.
Maybe just say your names again.
Yeah, it keeps exiting out of your video.
It's fine, I think this will be okay.
Okay.
Can we? Is that doing audio too?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Do you want us to start with our names again?
Please. Well, actually, no. It's fine. Go ahead.
So this is our campaign. We want to position Sustain Green as a secondary card. For this reason is because we want to not bring in the thought of all those credit card numbers as in like the interest rates and everything, just focus on bringing people to Sustain Green's website and informing them more on the actual what Sustain Green wants to do. Using this card as a secondary position would be convenient and part of a green lifestyle. So just using this every day just to swipe for your groceries or anything would just be a lot easier than talking about using all those different credit card type deals. And the message we want to conceive is that it's a relatable and a simple message to our customers and to our target audience so that we can announce Sustain Green and start off, because we're a startup business, so we can just talk about how easy it is to be green.
So the target market. So we're targeting 21 to 35-year-olds because research shows that at around 20 years old, that's when you get your first credit card. Now we want to get consumers when they already have an established line of credit so they understand how the financing, all of that works. And it'll be in addition to the rewards that they already have on their other credit cards. We want to get them to, at this time, before that they hit the max of around 3 to 4 credit cards. This target lives in a metro urban environment. They're trendy, they're independent, they are all about social media, and they're very tech savvy. And these are also the consumers that are dedicated to change, or they're really interested in helping the environment. So they're already interested in the cause. But they don't necessarily have the resources or the time to dedicate, so that's why we classify them as armchair environmentalists, which is why Sustain Green is perfect for them, because they don't have to change their daily routine. They can swipe it with their cup of coffee every morning, so every morning they do something good for the environment.
So we knew that we were going kind of towards the end, so we didn't want to repeat a ton of stuff. So we're going to focus mainly on like the uniqueness of our campaign. So we're going to talk about the 3 elements of our advertising message. The first being that we want to position this card as a secondary card. We basically want consumers to feel like they don't have to give up their personal rewards from their already established credit cards in order to get an additional card and use Sustain Green when they swipe. On average, we found through our research that 3.7 cards is the average number of cards a cardholder has after they've already had a credit card. So if they already have a card, it's actually an opportunity, not a bad thing, so we can just get them to have another card. So we really want to get consumers that are between 1 card, maybe 2 cards, which is really good for that 21 to 35-year-old range because it's such a transitional time in those people's lives. So for the secondary card, we didn't feel that there was enough evidence in the research to position this as a primary card. I know that Arthur talked about the idea of switching cards, but from our research, we found that 76% of cardholders are involved in a rewards program, and of those rewards, the most important was ranked as cash back, and the least important, at only 3%, was charitable donation. So through that research, we didn't feel that relying on consumers' desire to give back was enough to position this as a primary, so we wanted to position a secondary card. Our second element in our advertising message is going to be focusing on a convenient green lifestyle, and that's going to be through social media. Since this is an exclusively online brand, we want to exclusively promote advertising online. It sticks with their brand personality, with the no paper. It also creates a sense that Sustain Green understands the language and the landscape of online content, which creates a sense of security and trustworthiness between consumer and brand. So that's really important for a credit card company. We need that trust. The green lifestyle has obviously been touched upon. For this, for example, it's pretty simple, but we want to kind of twist it and make it a little bit more simplistic for the consumers that are kind of overwhelmed by the concepts. So our third advertising message is relatability and a simple message. So I think that a lot of us felt this way at the beginning of this course. Luckily, we had Arthur to kind of walk us through all the nitty-gritty details. But most consumers, especially the armchair environmentalists that we're targeting, don't really have a great grasp on the details of what it takes to help the environment. It feels vast, it feels overwhelming, it doesn't feel like small steps can really achieve big goals. But in fact, this card is all about that. It's all about the simple act of swiping can have a monumental effect on the environment. So that's what we want to focus on. That simple message in our campaign of the simple act of swiping, monumental results. And we don't want to get into the logistics, the details, the words like carbon offsets is off-putting to consumers. And we found that relatable content and a simple message gets a lot more clicks, likes, shares, all that stuff. So our message is hopefully going to drive them to click, go to the website, and then learn the details, learn the logistics. And that relatable message, we want to, because we're focusing on 21 to 35-year-olds, we really want to focus on relatable, trendy images. And I know that a lot of you have said this, but the research suggests that this age bracket is the most highly influenced by social media, the most highly influenced by peers and by trends. And being green is trendy, so we're going to tap into that for the relatability aspect for our message.
Okay, so the first social network we're going to talk about is Facebook, and Facebook is very important because you can kind of think of it as like a second homepage for your company. So we're going to keep the site very informative and share content that informs people about what is going on in the green world. And we're also going to share simple content about how you can be green in simple ways, like just something you can do for 15 minutes to be green, so keeping with the armchair environmentalist theme. And we're also going to make sure all the posts have visual in them because they receive 53% more likes than the average post. And every post needs to have a link because I looked at the Facebook Insight and the average reach of a post with a link was 277 versus 16 for a post without a link. And we're also going to make sure that we share tons of blog posts because like we said, we want to direct people to the website. And by sharing blog posts from the blog, which I talk about further in the plans book, we'll be able to direct people directly to the website without sharing over promotional content because it isn't obviously an ad. And on that, we're also going to have some Facebook advertising, such as like posts, sponsored posts, and stuff like that, which we will further talk about.
So for Facebook, you have both opportunities to post original content just on your page and also to work through Facebook advertising. So we just have a snapshot of both. So on the left, this is an example of what you could do for Facebook advertising. This is really playing off that secondary positioning and suggesting that having a primary card is a benefit, and so we're kind of latching on and saying like it's teamwork. So you use your primary card to get rewards points that can take you on a plane and fly you all over the world, and you can also use that coupled with our card, and those reward points will keep the world beautiful waiting for you to get there. So we have like beautiful images of the world. Just those eye-catching images are just more likely to get clicks, and like she said, have links attached, send them to the website, get that logistical information. This one on the right, this is an example of content that you would post directly to the page, or you could post it in an ad format as well, but this is just directly. And this is what I was talking about with those relatable images. So that 21 to 35-year-old age bracket immediately is going to catch the eye of Netflix, going to the gym. This is these people's lives. This is their everyday routine. And the tagline is, it's either impossible to choose between what's easy, what's right, or it's not. So do I want to binge watch Netflix? Do I want to go to the gym? Impossible decision. That's our lives. But Sustain Green, it's the easy choice because it's the right choice. So it's just more likely to get those clicks when they have relatable images to hold on to.
Okay, so the next network we're going to talk about is Twitter. So Twitter has a slightly different tone than Facebook because you are more likely to interact with a brand that you don't know on Twitter. And Facebook, you're more likely to talk to just your friends. So we're going to be a lot more interactive on there. And what we're going to do is we're going to share content from like influential companies and brands that's doing green things. Like H&M has a collective where you can like donate your clothing and get a discount, and like companies like Chipotle do a lot of green stuff, so we can share what they're doing to people, and they'll be attracted to the page because millennials are interested in companies like that. And we're also going to share just green living tips, and we're going to link to the blog to get people to walk the traffic to our website. And we're going to interact with people on there a lot to get more followers because that's the best way to get followers on Twitter. We're also going to use hashtags that the community is currently using and keep up on the trends in order to get more followers. So we're also going to have promoted post on Twitter, which we will talk about later.
So like Brooke said, Twitter is a lot about reaching out to other sources. Basically this campaign, we want to kind of take what would be listed as competitors and flip it on its head and turn those into assets. So other larger card companies latching on as a secondary card, that's creating an asset out of those bigger companies. Taking outside brands that also have green initiatives, we make them like-minded companies and we latch onto them. So this is just an example of something that you could do. And then, so these are creatives that we have for Twitter, a little bit more eye-catching, more relatable. You can also add humor just because for Twitter, it's not really going to be attractive if you have too much just straight-on promotional stuff. So things that are more compelling to be shared, for example, the car going through a roof. It's just a funny, eye-catching image. And the tagline is, sometimes cars just get in the way. Swipe with Sustain Green to reduce your carbon footprint. Swipe enough and it's like taking cars right off the road. So taking something eye-catching that you may not totally connect to the brand and then having copy that connects it to the brand. And then that top one, I think more of us are familiar with Tinder than we'd like to admit. And this one plays off of the idea that it's a secondary card, you have a credit card, you know what it's like to swipe a card, you know what it's like to swipe right or left on Tinder, so now why don't you use that swiping power for good, for something good. Yeah.